Hi, I'm Chris Travell, and thank you for joining us today on The Ride. In last week's posting, I told you about our 2012 Customer Experience Payback study, and we saw that if a dealer increases the level of satisfaction they deliver to customers by one level or one box, if you will, that the result is an incremental gain in gross profit on an annual basis of over $106,000. So not a small number by any means. But what happens if things go the other way, if a dealer delivers a less satisfactory experience? What's the financial result of that? Well, this week, let's take a look at that scenario. To recap from last week, we saw from the Payback study the various levels of satisfaction for customers based on their overall sales and service experience with the dealership. We then looked at the number of sales for each of these levels of satisfaction and what this equates to in terms of sales based on the loyalty attributable to each level. We saw that based on the average number of sales for a U.S. dealership, which is 726 according to NADA, that about 283 sales came from customers who had bought their previous car at the dealership. Now let's assume for a moment that for whatever reason, the level of satisfaction delivered by a dealer drops by one level or one box. So those customers who were completely satisfied are now very satisfied. Those who were very satisfied are now fairly well satisfied, and so on. This means that now no customers are completely satisfied. 47% of customers who used to be completely satisfied are now very satisfied, and so on. I think you can see how that works. So following through by the same logic, this means that somewhat and very dissatisfied customers are now grouped together, resulting in 13% of customers being very dissatisfied with the dealership they bought their vehicle from based on their ownership experience. From the Payback study, we know the number of sales and the loyalty percentages attributable to each level of satisfaction. What the analysis shows then is that by delivering a poor experience by one level or one box, 195 vehicles are sold to customers who previously bought at the dealership. So what's the end game here? What's the risk of delivering a poor customer experience? Well, when you work through the math, you see that by dropping the level of satisfaction by one level, it means that 88 fewer cars are sold. Based on the average gross of just a little over $1,400, a number provided by NADA, this decreases the annual GP at the dealership by $123,288 on the sales side. If you do a similar analysis on the service side, which I don't have time to show you right now, it results in a drop in GP of $68,336. The bottom line, by dropping customer satisfaction one level or one box, the total loss to the dealership in annual GP is $191,624. One of the very interesting findings I think we found in the Payback study is that the downside risk associated with delivering a weaker customer experience is actually greater than the upside. So $191,000 potential drop in GP versus a potential increase of over $106,000 increase in GP. Those are the numbers I shared with you last week. Now this doesn't even touch the benefits associated with a better customer experience that can be used as a differentiator in the sales experience. But perhaps we'll leave that discussion to another posting. But certainly in cold, hard cash terms, I think what we've seen with the Payback study, we've seen the benefits associated with delivering that exemplary customer experience. I hope you have found this information helpful. Let me know what you think. And thank you again for joining us today on The Ride.